Hey guys, Tyler here. I'm so excited about today's video. I finally get to talk with you guys about DJI's Mavic Mini. Now, this is their latest drone that they've released. It got released at the end of 2019. I've had this since the end of 2019. I've had the opportunity to travel with it a little, play with it close to home, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you my initial thoughts and experience with this drone since having it, my likes, my dislikes. This video is really meant for those who are really curious about the Mavic Mini, or you're looking to maybe purchase your first drone. This video is an initial review, more of a beginner's guide. That's about it. Let's get started. Thank you so much for checking out this video. So if you're new to my channel, I do similar videos to this. I also love to talk about Tesla and my Model 3. Now, before jumping into this video, I would like to let you all know that I purchased this drone because I really wanted a drone. This isn't sponsored, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you my honest opinions and thoughts about what this drone is all about and what I love about it. So in my hands, I have DJI's Mavic Mini in its case. They refer to this as the everyday fly cam, and it replaced DJI's Spark, which was a previous model that they've had. I bought this drone because I was really interested in playing around with the drone. Now, I had heard that this drone is user-friendly, so that's something that I want to touch base on in this video. And also the price. The price was something that really influenced me and sort of tipped the scale in me purchasing this relative to other drones at $399 or even $499 with the Fly More kit. This is something that's affordable, and that was definitely a large part of me purchasing my first drone. So like I said, I've had this drone since the end of 2019. I have had the opportunity to travel with this drone to Thailand. I got some really cool footage. And I've obviously used this locally here in or just outside of Boston. So like I said, I purchased the Fly More kit, which is priced at $499, and I got this beautiful case. And let's open this up and see sort of the main parts of, or the main components of this drone. You can see here DJI Mavic, which is really nice. This case feels quite durable, and it's being reinforced, which is also super cool. So here you can see, here's the drone. Now this is the battery pack. When you do purchase the Fly More kit, you do get 2 extra batteries. I found that to be super useful. And here is the remote. Now this opens up. So the thing with the Mavic Mini and the DJI drones is it does use your cell phone and the app that you install on that. So that's something that we'll be taking a look at. So let's just take a tour of the drone itself first. So the Mavic Mini is quite small. It virtually fits in the palm of my hand. One of the really big selling points of the Mavic Mini is its weight. It's ultra lightweight at 249 grams. That is an important number because any drone under 250 grams does not need to be registered currently with the FAA. So that is another perk of getting this drone. So let's just take a little tour. So at the front of the drone here, we can see that there is a gimbal cover. So for all you beginners like me, this is something that I've stumbled a little bit with. I have forgotten occasionally to take this off when beginning to fly the drone, but obviously it's great to protect the gimbal. Now, one of the things that DJI really features about this drone is that this is a 3-axis drone or gimbal on the drone. So there's that at the front. On the other side here, I guess the important features to know are this is how it's charged. Now here there is the SD slot at the bottom, and then this opens up, and this is where you insert the battery. So Again, these propellers and the propeller arms are folded in when it's nicely tucked away in its box. To get started, you're going to want to fold these top arms forward and the bottom arms flip back. Now we can take a look at the underside. So here we have the on-off button, and to turn that on, what we're going to do is we're going to press once and then a second time, a little bit of a longer press there. What do you guys think about your initial thoughts about how this drone looks, its physical design, the weight, the slimness? What do you guys think? Comment down below. So the main specs of the Mavic Mini, and the ones that you're going to want to know about, the most important ones, are its weight, as I've mentioned, 249 grams. The size, it's very small, fits in the palm of your hand. Now each battery gives you approximately 30 minutes flight time. This is very dependent on the strength of the wind and various other factors, something to keep in mind. If you do buy just the drone itself, I believe that does just come with one battery, where, as I said, I purchased the Fly More kit that comes with 3. So that does extend your flight time threefold. And another really interesting part of getting the Mavic Mini is the DJI app that you use on your phone to fly this, and the interface, the UI. These are all built out to be user-friendly, especially and particularly for those of you like me who are new to droning. So we'll definitely take a look at some of those things in greater detail. So take a look at some of my first initial flights flying the DJI Mavic Mini. Now, it's nothing fancy, but it's interesting to see what you can do with just opening this up and not really knowing too much about it. So I'm going to insert some of those clips here. Now, last but not least is one of the most important specs, the quality of the images and video that you're going to capture. So the Mavic Mini does have a 2.7K resolution. So one of the drawbacks is that it's not HD, but I think for the price and the image quality that you do get, it's quite fantastic, and have been really satisfied with the quality of the images. So we've talked about the drone, we've talked about the batteries and the flight time and the image quality, etc. We haven't yet taken a look at the controller. So let's take this out of the box and take a look at the controller. So when you're getting started, the antenna need to get flipped out. Now it does come with this cable that will fit different cell phones. So if you have an iPhone or you have an Android, either will work, not a problem. So one of the things that I always forget is here at the bottom, the toggles for the controls are nicely tucked away here, and you need to take those out, and they actually get screwed in here. So that needs to happen. And just like the drone, to turn this on, it's one quick and then followed by one longer press. That turns the remote controller on. Now you're ready to insert your phone and take a look at the DJI app. Now this controller doesn't have too many crazy buttons on it. There are just a limited amount of buttons and toggles and whatnot. So let's just take a quick look around the controller at what you need to know and what is important. So I've mentioned the power button. Here you have the home button. This is what you press when you want the drone to come back to you and land. Now the other most important buttons here are along here. Let's close these antennas so we can really see it. So here we have the video record button. Opposite to it is the take a picture button. And this little wheel here really changes the angle of the gimbal from straight out to perpendicular 90 degrees straight down. So once you figured out all of the workings of these parts, the drone, the batteries, and the controller, and you've downloaded the DJI Fly app to your phone, you're basically ready to plug your phone into the controller and start to fly this thing. So before we do that, I just want to get a little bit of a closer look at the DJI app and what that's all about, how user-friendly is it, etc. All right, even with the case, this thing fits pretty snug in here, which is great. Let's move like so. All right, there we go. Here we've opened up the DJI Fly app. It opens up to this interface here. Now what you need to know simply is the fly spots is where you can get information on any restrictions you may have or details about where it is that you're going to fly. Just below that is where any firmware downloads can be installed like it says, and to get started you're just going to want to click on the Go Fly button. So just outside of Boston, we found this awesome parking garage. I think it was about 6 levels, and we were on the top floor of the parking garage with the Tesla Model 3. We were hoping to get some awesome Boston skyline shots, and we were in the middle of doing this drone footage, and this SUV pulls up, and what turns out to be an undercover cop gets out, and apparently we needed to have gotten LANC. That stands for a low Altitude Authorization and Notification Capabilities certificate. So he explained that to us. Now you can use the KittyHawk app to understand if you do need to get one of these things or not, to avoid, possible arrest or any sort of problems that we had. So I would suggest, putting some time and energy into finding out where exactly you can fly your drone and what, what information you need to acquire or what documentation you need to acquire, despite, having a Mavic Mini that weighs, 249 grams that doesn't necessarily need to be registered to the FAA. So in my first few flights flying the drone, I did have this tendency to obviously look down at my phone and at the app and sort of look through the viewing lens of the drone through the app, but I was also super tempted to look at the drone directly, and I think this was problematic. So when I first started flying the first few flights, I'd be lying if I didn't say that the drone may or may not have, bumped into a tree branch or whatever it may be, and unfortunately I damaged some of the propellers of the drone. And so with the Fly More kit, it comes with spare parts. It came with a whole bunch of extra screws and propellers. However, I just threw those back onto the drone without really thinking, and when I planned out my next flight and the following weekend or whatever, and I went to go fly, the drone just wouldn't fly. And I was really confused as to why the drone wouldn't fly. So I had to involve my very smart husband to help me figure out what the heck is going on here? Why won't this drone fly? So as it turns out, you can't be an idiot like me, and you need to understand what propellers go where. So I guess what I'm trying to explain to you here is that if you take a look at the propellers here on these 2 propeller arms, there's 4 propellers here. There are 2 here on the left that have a single stripe, and then 2 here that have a double stripe. Now that's something that you need to pay careful attention to when you're replacing the propellers, because you can't just throw them on any which way you want. Your drone won't work, and the aerodynamics or whatever it is that need to be aligned just won't work if these propellers aren't matched up carefully. So don't do like I did and just try to replace them any which way. Hopefully you have a smart husband that can help you out. So I guess one of the important takeaway messages that I really want to drive home with you is, if you are new to flying a drone, as I am, then you really want to consider the Fly More kit, because it does come with those 2 extra batteries that gives you 3 times the flying time, and it does come with the extra propellers. So, it makes any sort of little mishap you may have sort of easy to fix and not time consuming. If you are just getting the drone, you may need to order new parts, and things could be back ordered, and that might take several months. So I think for me, just getting the Fly More kit, having those extra propellers, having the extra batteries to really get used to flying the drone really kind of was worth it in the end for me. Now, at the end of the day, I think this drone, the Mavic Mini, is best suited for and basically kind of created for novice drone flyers because of the ease of use and kind of just, you know, the ease of using all of these different components together and flying using the UI, the DJI Fly App. Second to that is, what is this drone best suited for? Now, this does have a 2.7K resolution camera, so if you're looking to take super high quality video or photos, this might not be the drone for you. I think this is, again, a drone that's really best suited for taking photos and videos that you don't really need to zoom in too crazy. That all being said, coming in at a price of $399 or $499, I think this drone is super affordable and really meant for, again, those people who are looking to get into this and not spend an arm and a leg. I'm super excited to already get a second drone that's maybe has a little bit more capabilities to it, so I can really get a sense of what that next level might be. So do you have a Mavic Mini? Have you almost been arrested by undercover police? Share some of your stories down below in the comments. I want to know. And don't forget to like and subscribe.